And 1, 2, 3, go. Welcome back, everybody. Back to the crypt. Back to the crypt. Back in the crypt. Aaron.
Greetings.
Greetings. Greetings. Okay, so, new episode, fucking, something I wanted to, we touched on last week, but that Universal fire.
Yeah.
Last episode.
Whatever that was.
But I hadn't actually read the fucking article. Now get this. You remember on the last episode how I talked about the time where we went to fucking Disney and Universal and our luggage was lost and we never recovered it. And part of that lost luggage were photos of me on the original Jaws and King Kong rides that no longer exist in those parks.
Yeah.
Universal suffered a fire in 2008 that reportedly only destroyed the park's King Kong attraction. Then a few weeks ago, it came to light that about 500,000 song titles owned by Universal, like ones from Guns N' Roses, Mary J. Blige, No Doubt, Nine Inch Nails, and Snoop Dogg, were also lost in the fire. So this fire happened 13 years ago, or 12 years ago,
Yeah.
or 11 years ago. Wow. But and they're just now finding out that they lost all that shit, or it's just now coming to light. It literally says in the article that all the stuff that they like a full report of everything that was lost was covered up in like sealed court documents and shit like that.
Did they ever figure out why or what happened? Was it just like an electrical fire or was it?
It doesn't say anywhere in reference to that, at least in this article. But apparently fucking Soundgarden, Hole, and more bands are suing Universal for it. It's like, well, yeah, what the fuck?
The original recordings of like iconic.
Your masters.
Yeah.
I think Nirvana was in there.
Oh,
I just can't believe. I can't believe that it was the fire that it was 11 years ago, and it's just now coming to light. Like they've kept this under wraps for 11 fucking years.
Yeah.
That is some major fuckery.
It's weird that the story would come up now instead of.
I mean, some of the court documents must have been unsealed or something like that. Like, they fucking covered that shit up.
Yeah.
Like a motherfucker.
It's like Area 51.
Dude.
Type shit.
Yeah. Insane. And it destroyed the King Kong ride. What? Like, that was crazy to me. I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
That was really crazy to me. I can't believe that. Like, that is...
When was the story published?
Like, I think the first article came out like last week sometime. Like last fucking... Well, we did the last episode on Saturdays. Oh, no, it came out... No, the original article came out while I was gone. So this has been out for like 2 weeks now. And it's just slowly more and more is unfolding, apparently. It's fucking crazy. Fucking crazy. God, yeah, they definitely should sue. Like, that's insane. Couple fucking... So pretty much this episode is just going to be metal news. Metal news, bunch of stuff has happened.
So we didn't really go into too much last time.
Yeah, not at all.
Just catching up.
Yeah. First up, an article that came out today, Alexi Laiho has apparently had a broken collarbone for 10 years that he just now found out about.
Yeah.
He didn't know it was broken for the last 10 years, and now his playing is a little fucked up, that is very sad. I wish him a speedy recovery because we need Alexi guitar licks. Like,
well, it seemed like, now I'm thinking about it, wasn't he in a cast for some of the, or no, that was something else.
Yeah, well, he's broken his collarbone more than once on tour.
Yeah. And
so apparently just one of the breaks never healed right or whatever, but
yeah.
That's fucking crazy. You have broken. He wrote multiple albums with a broken collarbone.
Yeah.
Imagine if it wasn't broken. He was perfectly healthy.
Probably. Yeah. There is a little bit of a. It seems like either it's like a playing change or like just a, I don't know, just a difference in.
Yeah, he said he basically had to relearn how to play at one point.
Yeah.
Like he's like, and some of it's still not back yet. So, that blew my mind. He's been playing shows and writing albums for 10 years with a broken bone.
And still, yeah.
Still killing it. Still flinging the guitar around his whole fucking body and the whole fucking nine. Damn.
It's that Finnish blood, I guess.
It's metal motherfuckers.
Yeah.
They don't stop. Well, we don't cancel shows for anything. Ever.
Well, unless, one of your members goes to jail in Prague, and
especially if it's your lead singer.
Yeah.
That's a real tough one. That's a real tough one. But Diana's Murder, lead singer had a baby.
Yeah.
And he left the tour. Which,
Twice.
yeah. Well, it was the first
first-
time. Yeah, the first time wasn't because of a baby, was it?
That was like sobriety or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Still.
Yeah.
You don't leave the tour for anything. No, I'm kidding. But but yeah, that just blew my mind about Alexi. That blew my mind. And then the day I got back from fucking the trip, I was so happy to be home. And then I see the article on Facebook that Dave Mustaine has throat cancer. Ooh.
Yeah, I remember seeing that.
Ooh. That one hurt. Because I had, this year, I've been, all year this year, I've been waiting for Megadeth tour date to come around. I was like, I haven't seen them in a long fucking time. I need to go fucking see Megadeth again. Because I used to see them every single time they came.
Seems like they were on every other tour that was coming through a lot of times.
They were on a lot, and they had Gigantor, and there was even recent rumors of a Gigantor coming back. I think there were rumors, last year sometime or something like that. But yeah, so to see that, but now you know what I mean. The doctor said they caught it early and their treatment is 90% effective.
Yeah.
So that's fucking.
Hopefully it's
good.
Yeah.
Tony Iommi beat it. Bruce Dickinson beat it.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Dave Mustaine, I think you can too.
Yeah.
We have hope and we wish you the best. Holy shit, man. I'll never forget. I think the first time I saw them was with Machine Head in Heaven and Hell. That was fucking at Kobo in Detroit. That shit was insane.
I feel like because I've never seen them before.
Oh.
I've had chances to, but something came up or just never had never made it out to it.
I saw a Big 3 tour. I saw them with Anthrax and Slayer before.
I remember that.
That shit was incredible. Man, when they play Holy Wars. To this day, that one night at Buenos Aires, the live album, is one of my favorite live albums. It's recorded so well, and man, it's a really fucking good live album. I liked that one a lot. Yeah. Fucking God.
Yeah.
I just hope he's all right, and I hope that it all works out.
It's kind of weird. I was kind of in the same spot because we had been. I think we were just about, I don't know, maybe an hour out from coming back and stuff, and I saw that and I was like, well, that's sad.
That is a heartbreaker.
Yeah.
That's a tough one. But like I said, we're hopeful.
Yeah.
And
it sounds like they got it under control.
Hopefully.
Yeah. I mean, it's tough.
Yeah.
At all, and it never actually really fully goes away.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, it's not the death sentence it once was, but.
Yeah.
At all, actually.
Mm.
Because I remember in the 90s, it was you get cancer, you're dead. There's nothing else.
Yeah.
Every single person that gets cancer dies. That's. Well, I guess every single person dies, but. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is true. Yeah, they have. It's been, I don't know, over the last 10 years, I'd say. There's been a lot more advancements and.
A lot. They're curing lots of forms of cancer already. That's the thing about cancer is it comes in many forms.
Yeah.
Oh, it's the devil. But fucking metal people, they have a pretty good track record.
Seems like it.
Except for fucking Dio.
Yeah.
I don't know if Lemmy had cancer or not.
I don't know.
I know Vinny didn't. I think he had a heart attack in his sleep or something.
Yeah.
I know he died in his sleep.
I don't think.
But yeah. You know what? Let's stop talking about our fallen heroes. Jesus Christ! But I just wanted to mention because Dave Mustaine is like seriously. Like I used to be such a giant fan of Megadeth. There was a point in time where Dave Mustaine had things set up where he would like, if you like sent in your phone number, he would like send out, or maybe it was a phone number you called, and like you could hear him like give an update in a voicemail kind of a thing. And I used to fucking call it all the fucking time, and like. Literally, like it felt like it was Dave Mustaine talking to you on the phone. Like it was fucking crazy. Like I loved it. But yeah, I have every Megadeth album, even Risk, and yeah, I was always fucking, because it was the kind of situation where I liked Metallica and Megadeth, and as I progressed through their albums. With Metallica, once I hit the Black Album, I was like, oh God. And then I heard the next one, it was even worse, and I never bought another Metallica. Threw those away. Actually, I don't know if I ever even bought those, but never bought a fucking Metallica album. It's like, it's only Kill 'Em All, Through and Justice for All. That's it. Those are the only Metallica albums to me. The other ones can go fuck themselves. I was in a car one time where my buddy had a copy of Death Magnetic, and we threw it out of the fucking window. So I was always like, but Megadeth continued to release good music, and when they came out, when I was just getting into them, when I was in middle school, and then they come out with a new album, The System Has Failed. I was like, ooh, and I fucking fell in love with this. Anybody can say what they will about that album. I don't even know if people liked it or not, but I fucking loved it.
No.
Like that was one of my favorite albums. I saw a lot of those songs live over the years. Kick the Chair, Blackmail the Universe. Oh my God, Scorpion.
What was that? That was United Abominations.
United Abominations was a good one. I liked that. Or maybe no. System Has Failed came out first, and then United, and I liked United Abominations a lot too. It was the one after that I didn't like as much. But
I think Endgame was really good. I liked Endgame a lot.
I think I have Endgame.
It's the one with.
There might be a new one I don't have yet.
Yeah, like there's 13, and then there was the one with Chris Adler on it.
Yeah, which one was that?
I don't remember what. I could see the cover of it.
Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called.
Maybe there's some Megadeth albums I need to get.
Yeah.
Shit.
Well, I've heard even like, I don't know, because that was kind of one of the things. Like I don't know, I kind of fell off like really like paying attention to him.
I fell off a bit after United Abominations.
Yeah. But then I heard Chris Adler was playing drums with them and stuff, and I was like,
awesome.
Figured I'd like check it out or whatever. So, and I from what I remember, it sounds pretty good. Like it's him playing Megadeth songs though, so it's like if you don't know who's playing, then like it doesn't make a difference really.
You can't hear Chris Adler come through in it?
I mean, a little bit, yeah.
See, that's what I'd be listening for.
I mean, it's like I said, it's been a long time since I listened to it.
Have you heard it top to bottom?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah,
once or twice. Yeah.
Right.
If not, like select songs off of it, but still,
yeah.
I have to figure out what the name of that is, so I don't remember.
Yeah, I need to. I actually don't think I've heard that yet. I need to pick that up. Son of a bitch. But yeah, like it was because it was right in late middle school, early high school years. I was really getting into because I started my roots, like even like my musical roots, where I started liking metal was the '80s metal, and
Dystopia, by the way.
Dystopia,
yeah.
That was it. Yep. And that's the first metal that I really fell in love with. So Megadeth and Iron Maiden especially, Judas Priest, Ozzy. Now, obviously, most of them are from before I got into their stuff before the '80s too, but I really gravitated towards the stuff they released in the '80s, and then like these bands that I was just falling in love with their old stuff were releasing new records, like System Has Failed and A Matter of Life and Death, but from Iron Maiden. Like a lot, I don't know if people, because like I wasn't online, you know what I mean? We were back in MySpace. YouTube was barely, if in existence at all.
Yeah.
Fucking, there wasn't a whole lot of like, I wasn't didn't have metal magazines coming to the house or anything like that.
Mm.
So I didn't really have a connection to what other people thought of anything.
Yeah.
And there was nobody I went to school with that liked the music I liked. So I had no basis. Like, I had nobody to bounce anything off of. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I didn't know what other people felt about anything. I just knew how it made me feel. And I fucking loved it. Like, I loved the bands. Like, I found stuff to like on their new stuff. And it made me like, yeah, like that Megadeth especially is by far one of the most formative bands for me. The first album I got from them was So Far So Good So What. It was my uncle. My uncle's a huge Megadeth fan, and he was like, "This is my favorite album by them." I was like, "All right," and then I fucking went on from there. But I remember seeing that cover of that album in my uncle's car since I was like real young. Like, back when we all lived in Detroit and stuff, and fucking, yeah, like, in the fucking, easily the first 10 years of my life, probably when I was like 6 or 7 or something. I remember, like, that album cover, like, oh, man.
Was that was the one with the guy out with the sign?
Yeah.
Or was that,
Or no, that's the guy with
Peace
the sign
Cells.
is Peace Cells,
Yeah.
Want to see So Far So Good So What?
I know I've definitely seen it before. I just always get those two mixed up.
Yeah. Oh, come on. Show me the fucking cover. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
Okay.
Oh, such a great cover. But yeah, them Megadeth, seriously, one of my all-time fucking favorite bands, absolutely. Like, and then I remember too when Preston and I were on a trip with our grandparents to visit that same uncle in when he was living in Tennessee for a little while. We went down to visit him. And while we were down there, we were at I can't remember if we were at a Walmart or if me and Preston found like an FYE or something like that, or a Best Buy. But we were in some place that had fucking CDs, and Preston bought a copy of the Megadeth Greatest Hits, the one with like the mushroom cloud on the cover.
Yeah.
And
I had that one.
yeah, dude, and oh my, that CD got played. I remember driving around in his '93 Red Firebird, blasting that shit. Oh my god, we were fucking.
That one had everything on it.
Everything, sweating bullets, fucking.
I remember
Holy Wars.
I remember getting that one and just kind of like starting it one day, and I think it took me like all day to get through it.
Oh.
It was kind of cool because like it was, obviously it was like like the greatest hits or whatever, but it was like it started off like, with like demos and stuff, and then it was like 2 CDs, I think. I'm pretty sure it was 2 CDs.
No, it was just one.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, dude, I do have it on here. Go on, though.
Oh, and yeah, I would say it like took me all day to get through and stuff, and like it was cool to kind of hear
That
like,
one.
yeah, maybe it wasn't that one, maybe it was a different one. There was like it was what was it? It was like the anthology or whatever.
Oh,
remember that?
Yeah.
Had a bunch of
I
like
didn't have that.
B-sides and stuff on it.
Yeah.
And also like those on it too.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're one of those bands that like you can hear the progression and everything.
Oh yeah.
Like it's.
Oh yeah.
And specifically like his vocals and stuff. It's like the earlier like I don't know. Admittedly, I don't really care too much for like the early like sound of his vocals. I kind of always for one reason or another, they just kind of like they're too like I don't know, like nasally to me. I guess. Yeah.
Angry again.
Yeah. Well, like that's his like style, and like what you're listening to, I guess, at the time. So
yeah, they see. I always liked his voice. See, that's the thing, is I like a lot of vocal styles that people there's no middle. You either love it or you fucking cannot stand it.
Yeah.
Every single one like that, I usually end up loving it. Like Rush, AC/DC. Some people get weird. Well, no. It's usually just like the higher pitched, weird.
Yeah.
weird fucking sounding ones. Damn. Yeah, dude, this fucking album. Trust, A Tout Le Monde, Angry Again, Sweating Bullets, Peace Sells, In My Darkest Hour, Kill the King. Oh, shit.
Yeah.
God damn it. She-Wolf, Skin on My Teeth, Hanger 18. Dude.
Guitar Hero.
I think I remember how to play that one, actually. I forgot about that song. Dude. God damn it. Megadeth. And fuck. Fuck. See, this is why I wanted to fucking see them again this year. I was ready to fucking see Megadeth again. God damn it. I'm fucking praying to Odin for from Dave Mustaine's speedy recovery. Where the world needs Megadeth. The world needs Megadeth. Son of a bitch.
Plus, I think he kind of moved away from it for, various reasons. But for a while, he got really political.
That's kind of why I remember, like, they were coming through, and before they came, I was already on the fence about going. And then, like, there were all kinds of cell phone footage videos coming out of the shows he was playing on that same tour of him literally ranting for like 15, 20 minutes straight in the middle of a concert. And here's the thing, though. Here's what people that have been to fucking Megadeth shows know is every time that I saw him, there was no talking. There was, I know you guys don't want to hear me talk. Let's just play some fucking metal and just off. Like, there was no dialogue with the audience at all. He was just there to fucking play for the straight amount of time. Like, so the contrast of him going on these crazy fucking rants and everything. And I think he did do one in Detroit, and I was like, oh, I don't want to go see that, really. And it's especially crazy because, especially on his older stuff, like, he was so anti-establishment, and then he, like, went to the establishment.
All of a sudden,
yeah. Like, there was a point in time where he was on the cover of Rolling Stone, and the thing was Dave Mustaine for president.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, I remember that.
Back then, yes.
Yeah.
Like, the guy that wrote Holy Wars, yes. Like, Jesus. Brother will kill brother. Oh, my God. Some of the greatest.
Jams.
He wrote some of my favorite, like, especially early on, some of my absolute favorite, like, political lyrics that I'd ever heard. Like, those, and because I really loved Megadeth, and then later on I got into Lamb of God, and I was like, oh, some of their writing reminded me of Dave Mustaine's writing a little bit. Like, oh, God, I fucking love them.
I guess I gotta go back and listen to them.
Now I do too. Yeah. I haven't listened to much lately, but now I'm fucking gonna. All I want to do is listen to Megadeth right now. All right. We wish you a speedy recovery, Mr. Mustaine.
Yes.
But we did have some tour announcements in the past few days. Pretty exciting. Gwar announced tour yesterday.
Yep.
And dude, we should go. Because the last time I saw Gwar, I said, I'm never going to miss a Gwar show again. Because it was that fucking good.
Yeah.
Like, they just... Not only was the stage show as amazing as you want it to be, but they actually sounded really, really fucking good live. Like, way better than you expect. And I was like, this is absolutely worth fucking any ticket they would ever charge. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, I was watching a couple of different YouTube channels and stuff, and it was like I came across one that was like, like 10, I don't know, like 5 or 10 metal bands that I'll never miss when they come through, and they were one of them,
dude.
For like kind of the same reasons and stuff.
Yeah.
And like I don't know, I feel because I don't know any of their songs at all.
I know a few.
I
know a few.
I think
there's actually, you should listen to the newest album. It's really fucking good. Yeah.
Put that on the playlist, I guess.
You should. It's quite good.
I know him from when Viva La Bam was a thing.
Yeah.
And like his whole that whole show and stuff, that kind of got me like looking into different, and like the whole all the CKY movies and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
so that kind of like got me into him and stuff. So that's kind of like how I know him from. But it's and like so like the songs that I heard on there are like the only ones that I know from him, I guess. And it was kind of around there. I don't know. I can see the like the cover of the one I'm thinking of. It's got like I don't know. It's really simple. It's got like a white background.
Oh yeah. I know which one. Yeah, I know exactly
yeah.
which one you're talking about. Yeah.
There's a couple of songs on there that were pretty sweet.
Yeah.
But
I mean,
as far as like the stuff post their singer,
since Odorous died.
Yeah.
Dude, honestly, the new guy is really good.
Yeah.
Really good. Like really, really good. And dude, they're touring with Against the Grain, Toxic Fucking Holocaust.
Yeah, I saw that.
And Sacred Reich.
Yeah.
It's the Use Your Collusion tour.
Yeah.
Oh my
yeah.
god, dude.
I thought that was great.
And it's at the Majestic Theater. We gotta go. It's not gonna sell out because St. Andrews didn't sell out. Honestly, it's a fucking crime that I hadn't seen them until last year, because Gwar is honestly probably going back one of the first, before I even knew what heavy metal was, one of the first metal bands I was exposed to, because my uncle has seen Gwar like 50 times. He's a giant. He had like all their fucking VHS tapes. They used to make movies and shit on VHS.
I heard about
He
those.
had all of. I've seen them.
Damn.
Dude, he used to play them for me. Like, fucking, I've heard, I've heard, Violence Has Arrived and fucking their first album. I remember him having those on in the car when I was fucking before the year 2000. When I was like 8 or 9 years old.
Yeah.
And I didn't know what it was. You know what I mean? Fucking, I did like their cover because it reminded me of my comics.
Yeah.
So
like
fucking
spacey. Like,
yeah, and the movies were like the movies looked like the fucking Ninja Turtle movies I liked.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So fucking yeah, it was I liked it. You know what I mean? But I didn't understand the music and I didn't really get any of it. But that's something I forget. I often forget how early I was exposed to fucking Gwar. That's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Fucking awesome. And it's a crime I hadn't seen them until last year, but I should make up for it and go every single time they come now.
I was watching I think I sent it to you, the TED Talk at their guitarist did. Yeah.
No, that was their new singer, dude.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know, it was a while ago.
I highly recommend everybody watch that.
Yeah,
it's
like,
great.
That kind of changed my perception of that band entirely, because he goes into talking about like how much of a commodity they are to
Richmond,
where they're from.
Motherfucking Virginia.
Yeah. And you know, to have something like that, I mean, it's like the whole, you know, Des Moines, Iowa thing with Slipknot.
Yep,
like,
exactly.
It's the same kind of like it's something that shouldn't be a thing. Like, it shouldn't make sense. It shouldn't exist, but it does, and it's like, you know, I mean,
it's beautiful. It's art.
How many? I guess I don't know. Like, I mean, there's like
fucking an animal.
Yeah, there's like 6 or 7. Like, how many members are in Gwar?
Oh, I don't know, a lot.
Because I feel like every time I see like video or photos of them, there's somebody new.
Yeah.
Like, there's somebody different.
Well, no. They stay that they
kind of the same. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, live it's so fucking good. At the beginning of the show, they had a video with even more characters from like the movies and stuff that you'll recognize, when like the guy with the big hair.
Yeah.
And like all that shit, dude. Like, yeah, dude, they incorporate it all into their live show, and it's incredible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 members.
Yeah.
And every single member in the band, that one's from 1994, that one's from 1986, 1987, 1995, and then Postulus Maximus is only from 2012, 1995, 1989, and 1988. So yeah, wait. What about the lead vocals? Is that Postulus Maximus? I forget. I don't know. I'm an idiot. I don't have it all memorized. But yeah, like my point is, there we go. Blothart. That's the new one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But wait, hold on. Oh shit, dude. He was Beefcake the Mighty. He was also Beefcake. I knew that. God. But yeah, he's been in the band since 1987.
Okay.
But he became the lead vocalist in 2014. So he's always been in it.
Yeah.
Is there a new Beefcake the Mighty? Yeah, there is a new Beefcake the Mighty.
And
that guy's been in it since 1994.
I have such like, even if I don't really care much for like music or whatever, like I have such a high respect for like bands that like go full in on everything they do.
Yeah,
and
whatever it is they do.
Yeah.
Whether it be pirates, Vikings, Guar,
yeah.
goblins.
Like they wrote an entire lore around their band.
Dude, yeah, there are Guar comic books.
Yeah.
That I intend on purchasing at the next Guar show I go to because they have them for sale at the merch booth. And sometimes, if you keep an eye out, they have signed copies on Indie Merch Store.
Oh yeah, I think I have seen those. Yeah.
You know, we get nothing for this, so I'll give somebody else's promo code a shout out. Use offer code 15JOSTA. Save 15% on your purchase at indiemerchstore.com. Shout out to Indie Merch Store and the Jamie Josta podcast, Josta Show. 15JOSTA offer code, 15% off on your purchase.
Plug there.
A little plug for somebody else. Why the fuck not? But yeah, dude, it's a $20 ticket. We gotta fucking Toxic Holocaust. Come on.
Yeah, I haven't seen them.
It's on a Wednesday.
Yeah.
But we should really fucking go. It's in September. We should fucking definitely go to that, man. That is gonna be a good one for sure. Let's see. Ooh, At the Gates.
Yeah.
Your buddies. The band you thought you'd never get to see.
I was thinking that too. I was like, oh no shit. Like
now you get a chance to see them again.
Yeah.
And we just saw them.
And it's a headliner
like 6
too.
months ago. Yeah, and this is a headliner at the same venue we saw them at last time, St. Andrews. Let's see what we got here. Tuesday, October 8th. Yeah. And no supporting acts have been announced yet.
Yeah, I was kind of looking at that. Seems like maybe it's a little early because I don't know. I didn't look at their actual page, but I didn't notice there was like a tour announcement or anything. Maybe there is. I don't know.
Well, you know what's weird? I don't know if I'm going to be able to find it quick enough, but there was my buddy sent me an event the other day of a show at Smalls where we saw Cannabis Corpse right down the street from Sanctuary of At the Gates opening for I can't remember. He's the lead vocalist of a band. I can't remember the name of the band he's the lead vocalist of, but he's like the lead vocalist of a band, and he was apparently going out on tour and bringing At the Gates. But there was an event page, but there was nothing on At the Gates' website, nothing on his website, like nothing anywhere else. So I was waiting for like a more official kind of like something before I sent it to you and be like, dude, we could see At the Gates at fucking Smalls.
That would be chaos.
Dude, that would be fucking insane.
Yeah.
But they'd be right there. Like, but
I don't think that that's even possible.
No, well, I certainly don't think it's happening after this tour announcement. That's for sure. So
just because they're too big of a. I mean, well, see, I don't know, because like I don't know quite what kind of reception they have over here, other than like,
I mean,
the history that they, and like the
I think, I don't know overall, but I mean, my guess is they went out, opened up for Behemoth, and we're like, we feel like we have enough steam to. I mean, all the fucking American reviewing things gave their newest album pretty high marks. This good fucking album.
Yeah. I don't know if I liked it more than the one that was before it. I can never remember. It's got a gray cover. It's like hands on it and shit.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I can picture it.
Yeah. Just because I don't know. I think it was as like their comeback. Because it was. I mean, since then I've been like, I don't know. I want to say like 15 years, but I don't think that's true since the last album.
Okay.
And so I feel like it was a little more of like a bigger deal.
Okay.
I guess, but I mean, that's not to say that the new one isn't really good, because it is, and I like a lot of the songs on it, but I just think that the one before it was a little bit stronger to me.
Fair enough.
So, but yeah, that was exciting.
I mean, put it this way. If that's a show that you really want to go to, if you get a ticket to it, I will join you. I would not mind at all. Because I think especially in a place like Detroit, they're going to have a really big pull.
Yeah.
Because that is
at war with reality.
At war with reality.
Yeah.
All right. Because if you think about the other bands, the other metal acts, recent metal acts that have come out of Michigan, they were all heavily influenced by At the Gates.
Oh yeah.
So to the point of almost like it's unbelievable.
Oh yeah, just the whole.
So yeah, I think that they might have a big pull here.
Yeah. Just the whole like legacy and the whole like what they have with like what they've done within I mean pretty much being like the flag carriers of like melodic death metal. In a sense.
Yeah.
With, Slaughter of the Soul.
Yeah, Slaughter of the Soul. Like what I still can't believe that album came out in the 90s. It boggles my mind. It boggles my fucking mind.
Yeah.
Like the oldest band I had known that sounded anything like that was Dahlia.
Yeah.
Until I found At the Gates. Like it's crazy. And then, you if you listen to, if you made a fucking playlist of Dahlia song, Battlecross song, Dahlia song, Battlecross song. And then I mean, not for nothing, Recorruptor, Bogwraith. Like fucking it's all within this frame, like this very specific style of metal that you hear it starting to come from other places, especially since Dahlia got so big.
Yeah.
But still, like it's still from here. All the bands from here have a very like specific fucking way of doing it. That it's different. It stands out to me. Like I hear the fucking whatever that thing is. I don't know what are we gonna call it.
Well, they were one of
the Michigan factor.
Yeah. Well, I would say, there's no really denying that like the Swedish sound has like changed the way that like I guess like death metal was written, I guess. Because like if you think about it,
and Swedish is one of my favorites.
Yeah, I mean it's all kind of in the guitar tone, and it's all in like the like the it's always, to me it always feels like I don't know, really like thick tones and stuff. I guess that makes sense. Like the whole thing just sounds really like a machine, I guess. Like,
all right, yeah, I get what you're saying.
I don't know. But yeah, and then kind of what you were saying, like. I start to kind of see, and it was interesting to me that the extreme metal episode of what is it?
Global Metal?
No, it was the
Metal Evolution.
Yeah.
Shout out to Headbanger TV.
Banger TV. It was
and Banger Films.
It was cool to me that they kind of touched on it a little bit at the end. While also going into the
which the extreme, for anyone who hasn't seen it, it's available for free on YouTube.
Yeah.
Just go on YouTube and search Extreme Metal Documentary, and it's probably is put on by Banger TV. TV is the name of the YouTube channel. Watch that shit.
Yeah.
Holy shit. It's fantastic.
Then they went into talking about like Gojira and like kind of like the future of things and stuff, and I feel like even since then. I think that came out a couple years ago.
Yeah, it's a few years old now.
And to see like there's all this new stuff that's coming up. Like I don't know, like Slam is pretty big, and like even like deathcore has changed a lot, like in its evolution and everything. And I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'd like to see a little more, like either another episode or like an update, I guess. Of all that stuff that's kind of happening.
Oh, they need to do more of those.
Yeah.
They need to do, yeah.
But kind of going back to like the Swedish sound and stuff. I mean, it's like it's one of those that like that style that's always been pretty like definable, I guess, if you're used to listening to it.
It wasn't until you pointed it out to me just now that I realized that that's where that sound comes from.
Yeah.
Like that is it is so, and I find it interesting that it's the Swedish metal that influence that comes through heavily in all these Michigan bands. I think that's an interesting thing to note, and I dig it because I love the European death metal, the melodic death metal and stuff. I'm a giant fan of Arch Enemy, especially with Angela Gassau singing that on lead vocals. That by far one of my favorite death vocal, dirty vocal style singers of all time.
Well, I mean, you can all, I mean, just even like looking up Swedish death metal is like, I mean, there's Amon Amarth,
yep,
Entombed, In Flames. I guess their earlier stuff was more along that same lines.
Let's be real, some of the biggest hitters in the game.
Yeah, At the Gates, Dark Tranquility, Hypocrisy, Dark Funeral. I mean, it just kind of but it all kind of, it started around like the 90s and stuff, and
early 90s. Carcass.
Yeah.
Or wait, no, they might not have been Swedish. I don't know.
I don't think so. I'm not sure. But yeah, you know what? That's kind of what I was saying, because like, it almost seems like it's in its next like phase, sort of, and they never really talked about like the deathcore thing in general, which I feel like is pretty important, because it started off as something completely different as what it is now, and it seems like. Not to get too far off track of what we were talking about, but it kind of seems like more it's become something that gets like put in with other things. Like, it's not just traditional deathcore anymore. It's more like blackened deathcore, or like like things with like black metal elements and stuff. And I feel like it's taken more of like a shift, I guess, instead of like being what it was. And I feel like we're kind of past due for like an updated version or whatever of what's happening. But yeah, to kind of go back to what we were talking about, I mean, there wouldn't be a lot of melodic death metal bands as we know it today without bands like At the Gates and
absolutely,
and like there's, I mean, Darkest Hour even is another one that comes to mind around that same time. Like them, like you said, Black Dahlia. I guess are the two like big ones. I mean, I don't know. I'm sure there's more of them, but
so fucking get this real quick. Carcass is from Liverpool.
Yeah.
But Arch Enemy, and I did not know this, is a Swedish melodic death metal. I knew that. Originally, though, they were a supergroup. Did you know that? In 1995, its members consisted from other bands such as Carcass, Armageddon, Carnage, Merciful Fate, Spiritual Beggars, Nevermore, and Eucharist. It was founded by Carcass guitarist Michael Ament, along with John Leva, who were both originally from the death metal band Carnage and Carcass. The band has released 10 studio albums, live, blah, 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 blah. The band was originally formed... Okay, so Liva, I don't know how to pronounce it, who was replaced by German... Oh, so that's the lead vocalist, was replaced by Angela Gassau. Okay. And I did not know Elisa White Gloves was Canadian. Okay.
Yeah.
Did not know that. I wonder what fucking band... I wonder if... No, because it wasn't original. Okay. That's crazy, though. I did not know that there were fucking Merciful Fate, fucking Nevermore members in Arch Enemy. That's crazy.
Well, I knew that that their guitarist, one of their guitarists, was in Carcass before.
Well, yeah, the founder,
yeah,
Michael Ament, yeah, and his brother.
Well, it's weird that you bring that up, because with At the Gates, that was kind of the same thing. Like,
really,
they went from like after the whole, I don't know, like, because it looks like they broke up in '96. And then the reunion happened in 2007.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and it looks like it was just like a small mix of shows. And then at 2014 to 16 was the At War with Reality, which is their first studio album that came out.
Okay.
But after that, like, I think it looks like their guitarist went and formed The Haunted.
Oh,
and then,
shit.
Yeah. And then I'm not sure if he was the other guitarist, but it looks like he worked with different bands. It says The Crown, Lock Up, and Night Rage. And then one of the other members left to join Cradle of Filth.
Oh.
So it's kind of the same thing,
Wow.
but like, yeah. So it's just the overlap is kind of weird.
That's so fucking crazy.
Yeah.
Someone needs to make like a Defiant Ones-esque documentary about metal.
Yeah.
So we can because that there are these producers that not a lot of people know. The only people that know their names are the people that are really in the know. But these producers, like, they touch on it in some metal documentary, like Brian Siegel from Metal Blade Records, and they interview a lot of people from Sun something studios in Florida where death metal, pretty much started. Something Sun something.
No, it was
You know what I'm talking about, though.
Yeah.
They interviewed a lot of producers.
Morrisound.
Yes. They interviewed a lot of fucking producers from that, and like the Cannibal Corpse documentary and death metal doc. They do a lot, but there's never been a focus on like, because there is one documentary, the glam metal episode of Metal Evolution, where they talk to this one fucking glam metal producer who still rocks that fucking look, and fucking he worked with all of them and like gave them their style and all of this kind of stuff. Like, what's going on there? And what's going on? What are some of these fucking Swedish producers? What's going on there? Like, did the same guy that produced Amon Amarth also produce fucking Arch Enemy and this and that? And you know what I mean? I don't know. Yeah. Eric Rutan. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
well, it was weird when we were watching that the Amon Amarth one. I don't remember what it's called.
The documentary?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where they talked about their first show was with a band called Dissection.
Mm-hmm.
It was another Swedish band, but they were like one of my favorite like black metal bands from that era. I guess like, I don't know. So it was like kind of like what you were saying. Like it's weird to see that that kind of like
there's
connection.
There's more interconnection than we realize.
Yeah.
It's because no one's made a documentary about it yet.
Well, I mean, even I'm pretty sure it was probably the Cannibal one where we were talking about how they used to like show up to like different like it was like I guess at the time it was like storage units and stuff, like practice spaces or whatever, and they like share practice spaces with
with other bands. Yeah.
Like while they were recording this other gigantic iconic album, like this was happening and stuff.
Right, two doors down.
Yeah.
2 storage units down. We got fucking 2, albums that would go on to become like some of the most treasured death metal albums in history. And they're recorded right next to each other.
That is a good concept for
a fucking documentary.
Yeah.
Like I just exploring it, because that's the thing that fascinated me the most about the Defiant Ones. One of my favorite music documentaries ever made.
Yeah, I gotta rewatch it even.
Far. I bought that bitch on DVD because it was so fucking good. If you haven't seen the Defiant Ones, it's about Jimmy Iovine and Dr. Dre, and it basically tells both of their stories. And Jimmy Iovine is a producer who worked with everyone you've ever heard on the radio. Everyone you've ever heard on the fucking radio.
It is
up until like recent times, probably. But like,
it's pretty insane.
Everyone from Bruce Springsteen to Tom Petty to fucking Gwen Stefani to fucking Dr. Dre and Eminem and fucking
Manson, even
Marilyn Manson and Trent Reznor, 9 Inch Nails. Everyone. Like. And it just blew my mind how connected all these wildly different styles of music actually were.
Yeah.
They were all being essentially like a producer is kind of like a filter in some ways. Like the band makes the music and then it's filtered through the producer and then it gets released to us. Like the producer is a member of the band during the recording of the album. Every single album has a producer, so every single album has this extra member involved. And I didn't realize that fully until I saw that documentary. So
well, even like the mixing and mastering portion of it, like the engineers and stuff, all that is like extra members. Yep.
fucking. So I just exploring that interconnectedness of it all that you don't fucking realize. Like, you don't fucking realize that all 10 of the top 10 hits on the radio at any given moment were all produced by the same guy. You know what I mean? Like, same person.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking insane to me. It's like, you know, they fucking... what's crazy about Jimmy Iovine is, like, I may not, like, be a fan necessarily of all the stuff that he's been involved in, but it's all stuff where even if I'm not a fan, I recognize, oh, you know, yeah, it's on the radio, but this is one of the ones that's actually talented. Like, you could, come on, like, you know when you're hearing some bullshit auto-tune what the fuck ever to where when you're actually hearing a Christina Aguilera sing.
Just,
you know, someone with actual fucking talent. You know what I'm saying? Like,
well, I think a lot of that was like time and place stuff, really.
I mean, yeah.
To a certain point, like there, like had there not been somebody like that had that kind of pull and that kind of like vision for that, you know, for like how it was supposed to be, I kind of feel like we wouldn't really know. Like, I don't know, how like, I guess like paving the way for like top 40 music as it is, I guess, like.
God damn it.
So
I'm drunk. I just said fucking Christina Aguilera, his actual talent. Well, I mean, but at the same time, if you've ever heard her like solo, like not without anything, like just raw vocals on YouTube, she could sing.
Yeah.
There's no fucking denying it. Like, fucking, you know what I mean? Like, there are the ones that can actually do it, you know, and there are the ones that only can do it because of the way it's mixed and mastered and produced and all this and that.
Yeah. Well, even like, I mean, I give Taylor Swift credit because at least she writes her own songs. At least she can, like, you know, like, or she used to anyway. I don't know about now because it's changed quite a bit. But regardless, like,
I mean, yeah, she writes her own songs, but just because you write your own songs doesn't mean they're good.
Well, you know, she's still got more records sold than we do. So
hey, I'm not talking about her record sales. I'm just.
She got some bangers in there.
I am not a fan. I am not a fan. But hey, you know that I'm. You know, at the same time that I'm aware of. If I sat down in a car right now, turned on the radio, and heard a Taylor Swift song, a Justin Bieber song, and a Nicki Minaj song, and who else is big right now? A Cardi B song. I would not know the difference between any of them. I would not be able to identify the artist base. I don't know what I don't know what any of them sound like. I have no idea what they sound like.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
I
fair.
do not know a single song by any of them. Like, I'm sure I've heard them. I'm sure some songs I'd be like, oh, I've heard this song, but I wouldn't know that's who it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't. Yeah.
That's fair.
I just don't listen to it. So
I have a, you know, I mean, well, never mind.
It's just fucking, you know, so much of it is just way overdone in the production nowadays. Like, there's the, you know, if your fucking singer can't hit the notes, have them sing different notes.
Yeah.
Don't make the notes work in post production.
The problem that I have for me is that when you hear like, okay, so a little while back I was flipping around on the radio and stuff, so I was like, yeah, you know, maybe see what happens. You know, like so I wasn't really driving anywhere. Yeah, like I just kind of, you know, and like I didn't really have anything with me, so I was like, fuck it, I'll just like see what's on or whatever. And like there were points where like I would hear the same song twice on two different stations.
Yep.
Or it would be like this. It would be like one that would like be like in like the same like structure, like the whole structure is kind of the same. But like, and then the next one would be like really similar to that. It'd be like the same like notes, sort of like the same it would be a different singer. Like you could tell that it was different, but like it wasn't enough to like mask that. Like it felt like it was just written the same kind of like, oh well, this is like it's that same. I don't know like note, like how to like describe notes or whatever. But there's always that same like pattern and that same like riff, I guess. if you could even call it that, but like I don't know, it's just like there's not enough like original
dude
stuff there for me to be like, oh, that's cool, like, or that's
is it any fucking wonder why radio's dying? When you actually go and listen to it, I couldn't believe okay,
there was a point in time where that was like, if you got on the radio, that was like the
huge.
big,
it was huge.
Yeah.
And now it's nothing. Podcasts are everything.
Yeah.
Because you actually get to hear real discourse between people, and like you get to actually know someone through the yeah, we don't play, not all of them play music, some do, not all, like I don't know, we don't know the rules about it, we don't know if we'll get pulled from YouTube. I think we will, you know what I mean, like I know we won't get pulled from like iTunes. I know like all of that's safe, but I would think like we do get flagged on YouTube if you play music, whatever. Yeah, we're not on video, but still, some people might find us on YouTube.
I think eventually you'd like to add music and stuff to it, like
definitely our own original music that is coming soon. Like if I get bored enough within the next week, I'll throw down a riff and just add it to the intro of the fucking podcast. But yeah, I mean, like it's no wonder why fucking radio is taking such a goddamn hit to podcasts, because it's okay. And even the people that listen to fucking radio for the fucking music you just described, and at the end of the day, really? Like, you don't, like, at least make your own play. Like, I collect music. I'm a music collector. I collect CDs. It's something I enjoy doing. It's something I've done since I was a fucking kid, so I enjoy doing it. If you just listen to music on Spotify, I fucking get it. I get it. Totally. I don't like it, but I get it. And I understand it. That's where things are at. Like, cool. Because at the end of the day, you're controlling that. You're making your selections, what you search, all this goes into an algorithm which creates things specifically for you. Okay? So you're not that you can literally make your own playlist and everything. You can pick what you want to hear. You're not being fucking spoon-fed. If people that listen to the fucking radio for music, you're being spoon-fed the same fucking shit that producers and record companies and all radio stations think, using statistics and algorithms. They decide that this is what you want to hear.
Yeah.
They're spoon-feeding you these real basic, like, rhythms and tones and beats that they know are naturally attractive to they know this scientifically. They know what's naturally attractive to the human ear and things like that. And so that's what they're spoon-feeding you. You know what I mean? And I understand. Hey, look, I'm not speaking to everybody. Trust me, I've been in situations where the only option is the fucking radio, okay? I've been there. There's no CD player. I don't have a tape, and there's no Bluetooth or any aux cords or anything. All you got is the radio. I've been there, okay? I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to the people that choose to only listen to the radio, and that is their source of music.
Yeah.
That's who I'm talking to.
Well, why do you think like the big, like, there's always this, like, the big hit song of the summer that gets played to death?
The top 40.
Yeah. Or like, I it's been touched on a couple of times in different like forms or whatever, but like it's the same reason that like classic rock stations only have the same like 20 or 30 songs that they play all the time. Like there's no like deep cuts or anything like that.
Not really. Not unless you get lucky and someone unless you get like something cool as fuck with I don't know how syndicated it is anymore. I haven't heard it in a long time. But and I'm sure it still happens, but on the classic rock station here in Lansing, on certain weeknights they do nights with Alice Cooper.
Yeah.
And he'll play some fucking deep cuts.
That's true,
if you get a cool show, if a radio station has a cool show like that, then you'll get something. But if it's just classic rock 94.9, fucking 24/7 classic rock, it's going to be the same 20, 30 songs on repeat. Like
what's, there's songs that are always going to be the hits. Like there's songs that like are always going to be played anywhere.
Sure.
But like what's enough with
that's
like
the radio is there for pleasing. It's not
Yeah.
there for introducing.
Yeah.
It's not there for showing you what else this band has done. It wants to give you the hits from this band. You know what I mean?
Like, I'm trying to think of, like, what's a song that, like, has been rotated so many times that...
Sweet Child of Mine.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
It's the first one that pops into my head. Sweet Child of Mine. We Will Rock You.
Yeah.
Highway to Hell. Back in Black. Duality.
Yeah.
Stairway to Heaven. Iron Man. What's the other big Black Sabbath one? Paranoid. Yeah.
Like, what? They're good songs.
They're dude. See. That's the thing is I had, at this point it's been so many years that I haven't listened to the radio. When I put those songs on, they still hit me. I have enough distance, from being spoon fed to me, and that's all I get to hear. Yeah, dude. Like if you give yourself distance, they're brilliant songs. There's a goddamn reason why they're fucking hits. There's a goddamn reason they're still on fucking rotation. 50, 60 years, fucking. You know what I mean? When did fucking Paranoid come out? When did Iron Man come out? You know what I mean? Holy shit. We're talking about like 40 years minimum. Like, are you kidding me? Fucking on rotation. Stairway to Heaven, one point, at least when I was growing up, I was always told that it held the number one spot on the charts longer than any other song in history. Yeah. So on the radio more times is basically what that means. But that is from a time where radio was there to introduce you to things. Oh, yeah. That's when it was the only source, and it was used for good and not evil. Corporate radio came in.
I remember a lot of there were like kind of like what you're saying. I feel like there was more at least for like central like radio, like public radio, I guess. I don't even know if that's like the correct term for it or whatever, but like it making the difference between like satellite radio and like traditional stuff. But like I remember when there was more excuse me, when there was more like one-off like channels and like different like programs and stuff, like what you were talking about with or even like what's the D. Snyder one? The House of Hair.
House of Hair. Yeah. Oh, my favorite.
Yeah.
Tonight on the House of Hair.
Stuff like that, to kind of like, but even so, like kind of like what you're saying, that's all kind of, like I never feel like I hear anything new, and it's like, oh well, that's
those will give you something.
Yeah.
For sure, or at least something different than what's being played on rotation all fucking day long. Mandatory Metallica. Go fuck yourself. Where's mandatory Megadeth? That's what I always used to say. I want mandatory Megadeth, not Metallica.
And like I just kind of now thought of this, but like even the like the satellite stations, like the TV stations and stuff, have like the separate. I think like VH1 Classic was one of them. Or there's there's like 2 or 3 different random like channels that show just videos all the time. And like
VH1 Classic used to be one of them. Yeah.
And I've seen stuff on there that I haven't heard in I don't know, like 5-10 years even, that like you forget about, and all of a sudden you're like, dude, like
this shit is awesome.
Yeah, like, and like there, I don't know, I feel like there's not enough variety happening, and it's all like kind of like what you're saying. It's one company that's trying to tell people like.
I mean, yeah. At this point, there's not that many fucking radio companies anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, they're just trying. They're fucking grasping any straw they can. Yeah. They see the. You know what I mean? Like the fucking record companies are already more than dead. Like, CD stores don't exist. Like it's all streaming.
It's all.
Now. That's where
the
record companies are now.
Yeah.
It's all streaming services not paying the bands enough and things like that. But yeah, like it's fucking, man, it's crazy though. It's all changed, everything.
Yeah.
Everything.
Even like, because I mean, admittedly, like I was exposed to a lot of like, kind of like the top 40 stuff when I was growing up.
Oh
and
yeah,
stuff.
absolutely.
Just because that was kind of like the big thing. Like,
Dude,
I remember.
Go.
I was just gonna say, like, I remember like full days where it would just be nothing but like, like I don't remember what the station was, but just full days of like hearing like a bunch of different songs and stuff, and just feeling like I was actually hearing something different. And now it's just kind of like, I mean, maybe it's the nostalgia. I don't know. Like,
No, I think you're right. As a kid, you don't notice it as much.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And when the rare song you like comes back on, you're just happy, and you're not like, they just played this.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? But I mean, yeah, like driving back from Detroit every night, my mom would have on in the car, Love Light with Delilah. Delilah Love Light, or whatever the fuck it was. Like, yeah, dude, like Casey Kasem, Top 40, Ryan Seacrest, like all of them. I listened to all of them.
I was thinking Z1017.
Oh my
that
God!
Shit?
Oh shit!
Yeah.
Fuck yes, I remember, and I was mad when it became Mike 1017. I was real mad. I liked Z1017.
Yeah. Well,
that's when I discovered Q106.
Yeah. It was around the same time, yeah.
There was also another one. There wasn't Grand Rapids rock station that was actually really good, 107.3. But then one day I turn it on, and all of a sudden it's just static and sports talk radio.
That's
like it just vanished.
Yeah.
One day I was like, what the fuck? See, that's the problem with the radio stations. When they change, there's no warning, no one says anything. It's just one day it's gone. Like, man, fucked up.
What I always think of, because there was a time when whoever was running that station went to a different one. And I remember thinking like how like as far as like that kind of work and stuff, like how is the, you know, like how do you go from doing one thing and that like you really enjoy, maybe, I don't know, it's just like what you're supposed to do, I guess, to this, you know, this other thing all of a sudden that like is completely different than what you've been doing for like 2 to 5 years or whatever it was. Like, I don't know, it's just kind of weird to me.
Yeah, it is weird. I don't know.
But
have you ever watched the movie Private Parts?
Yeah.
Dude,
it's been a long time. But
that when I first saw that movie, I was like, radio is what I want to do. Like Howard Stern, fucking.
Oh yeah.
Dude, he fucking. I mean, if you really want to get technical, he was his show was a podcast. In a lot of ways.
Still
like,
kind of is. Yeah.
Still is.
Is he still on or?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, dude. Matter of fact,
it's like
fucking
XM or whatever.
Sirius XM,
Yeah.
and I actually finally. Anybody that's been listening knows I've been having some car trouble lately, but I finally got fucking Metamobile Mach 4, and I might have a. I think I have like a free like short subscription to Sirius XM. I wanted to activate it just to listen to Howard Stern. Like fucking, he was on the Conan O'Brien podcast recently, and
I think I saw that.
He was on.
Or no, what
something
was...
else? Oh no, I watched the David Letterman thing with him on Netflix. That's what it was. But yeah, he was on the Conan O'Brien podcast recently, and it was a really good episode because he's got a new book out. And
maybe it was 60 Minutes I was watching. He was on.
I could see that.
Yeah.
But I want him to go on Rogan so fucking bad.
Oh, dude,
it's such an amazing fucking episode. But yeah, like he Howard Stern fucking. There was a point in time where he had a giant influence on me, and I never even got to really hear him on the radio because he was actually at a station in Detroit at one point in time, WOMC or something like that, but that was like when I was like 2 or 3 years old or something like that. So I was like just too young to have ever fucking really gotten to like follow along with what that fucking phenomenon that was Howard Stern still is.
Yeah.
But yeah, he fucking changed the game. You know what I mean?
I was a
little the game changer.
I was a little before my time, I guess. Not well, it kind of like what you're saying. I didn't really like see it or like appreciate it quite the same way as, you know.
Right, until I saw the movie.
Yeah.
It was all happening, you know, when I was too young to understand what was happening, you know.
I just remember, I mean, I don't know. The all of like the controversies and stuff and like the risks and everything that like he took, and like his show was like too extreme or whatever.
Yeah.
And like all like the weird like HBO stuff. Yeah. He was doing, and like just the, you know. And
this was all just before Eminem.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like so Eminem is the thing that I grew up with that was like that everybody in Marilyn Manson, you know, that everybody fucking this is too extreme. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. Damn. How do we even?
I don't know.
Guar.
Yeah.
Guar. Holy shit! It goes all the way back to Guar.
Then we were talking about At the Gates, and then
Yeah. Yeah. God damn. We went deep. Hell yeah. I mean, but there is another fucking concert announcement that I was going to talk about.
what was that? Yeah.
Obituary.
Yeah.
Dude. We should fucking seriously. Dude, it's Obituary in a bath. How often does a bath tour the United States? Oh, and they have a meet and greet. We could meet them. Dude. I'm not gonna lie. I couldn't even name you in a Bath song.
Well, I was.
But
You know, he's the
they're
guitarist
legends.
from Immortal, right?
Nope. Didn't know that.
Yeah.
They also got Midnight and Devil Master.
Yeah. I've heard Devil Master is pretty good.
Obituary and a Bath, dude. North American tour.
I just don't feel like I saw enough. I saw all of it, but like, I don't feel like I took it in quite as much when we saw Obituary.
With Hatebreed?
Yeah.
It just, you wanted, like, when they were done, you were like, no.
Yeah.
I want more.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be cool.
It's literally like a day or two, within 2 days of At the Gates.
Yeah.
So we'd probably have to pick one or the other. But honestly, like, damn. Like, Obituary.
Did you listen?
So fucking good.
Did you listen to the Josta with their drummer?
Who's drummer?
Obituary.
Oh yes, I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did. A while ago now.
I didn't know that like 2 of the members are brothers that started it.
No, I didn't know that either. Yeah. It was a good episode.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was cuz I did hear that one. It was a little while ago now though.
Yeah, it was a little. No, it's probably a month or so ago.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, I was excited to hear that because it was right around the same time that we saw them. So
Yeah.
I thought that was pretty cool. But yeah, that's damn Obituary, because they was just so fucking good when we saw them with Hatebreed.
Oh yeah, I remember what I was gonna say when we were talking about Megadeth and stuff, and like seeing them live and everything.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's a certain like mentality of bands from that era with, you know, like in terms of like the show aspect, you know, because you figure you see them, and I thought this about Slayer too. Like they're very like, let's just go on and like play our songs and then
No talking.
Yeah, just kind of in between. I feel like that's not something that you see too often anymore. Like just this bit. Well, I mean, not only is the production gigantic and they've been around for a while, so I'm sure, you know, in between, you know, within the last like 10 years or whatever, like the whole like format of how the show is going on and like the set and everything. But it seems like a lot of the older bands kind of have that mentality of let's just go on and just play our shit and then that's it really. And that was kind of what I liked about Obituary. It was very like one thing to the next, and it was really
kind of like Cannibal too.
Yeah. I mean, they had a little bit of like the bantering and stuff, but I mean,
yeah, true.
With and I guess to kind of you know, like make the comparison, I mean, between like the older and newer stuff, like, and it was cool that Fit for an Autopsy was put on that Hatebreed show, because you could definitely see, like, you know, like they stopped a little bit in between and kind of like talked and stuff, and like I don't feel like the rest of it, like, I mean, there was a few times where like, you know, there was like some breaks and stuff, but I don't know, I just feel like and after like playing shows and stuff, you know, like with different bands and everything, like you can kind of see how, I don't know, I feel like it's a little more like straightforward.
There's a rhythm to it.
Yeah.
There's like a rhythm to like a lot of bands nowadays that like with, you know, that kind of address the crowd a little bit more versus the old school way of doing things, which seemed to be less of that.
Yeah. And like even hearing like live albums and stuff, I mean, there are some
Yeah,
that definitely
yeah.
highlight that or whatever, and whether that's just for the sake of editing to like cut down on time or whatever, or if it's But then I think about bands like Slipknot who are kind of the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
That seems like I mean, the couple of times I've seen them, like, I don't know. I guess it also kind of depends on like the front man or like whoever's, like whoever you're seeing. I guess it kind of depends on like what their show is like and how they, kind of run things and stuff. But I don't know. I kind of thought that was interesting. That was kind of a different like way of looking at things and stuff. But I don't know. I guess I was trying to like figure out like which I would prefer. I guess because to me, from like playing a show aspect and like being in that position, I could kind of see how like it would just be easier to just go from one song to the next. But as somebody watching a show, I kind of feel like sometimes the bantering is like just like you kind of want that a little bit, that like connection and stuff.
Yeah, as a fan in the crowd, like you hope in some sense for to you this is a unique experience. This is one night and this is never going to happen again. And you're going to remember it exactly for what it is, and but if there's something different about the show if you don't feel like the show that they just played was the exact same show they played last night, because it couldn't have been because of some of the things they said, that makes it feel a little bit more special. You know what I mean? As a fan.
Yeah.
Like, not only was this unique, but this was unique to us. This crowd saw that happen, and no one's ever going to see that happen again because it only happened once. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, as a fan, I'd say I'd lean a little bit more towards that way for sure. But I totally understand, I also understand the logic of the band member going, well, they're here for our music. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what they're here for. So let's give that to them as much as possible.
Yeah.
So I get that too.
And there's nothing worse than like, I mean, a little bit's fine. Like,
Yeah,
it's just
there's
kind of
a
like personal
balance.
preference. Yeah. But like when it goes on too long,
Mm-hmm.
and it just kind of seems like it's like just to like take up time a little bit, or like to you feel like some like dead air or whatever. It's like, all right, let's get come on, like let's.
But at the same time, it's also like it's a little built-in buffering, because if something, and you and I have seen it multiple times with top level bands, the toppest level bands, where something gets unplugged or something goes slightly wrong during the set and they have to banter on for a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I've seen that with Iron Maiden, I think. Yeah, dude, the fucking drum head broke. One of his drum skins broke or something like that, and they had to reskin the drum on the stage or something crazy like that. This was like one of the first times I saw him, I think. Something like that. But yeah, dude, it was fucking... But, like, you know what I mean? They didn't miss a beat, you know what I mean? Like, because they had that kind of, like, built-in buffer a little bit. So.
Yeah. Sometimes it does kind of seem like... And I guess it kind of depends on like the band and like how they go about it and stuff, because there's definitely like a I don't know, like a classy way to do it in terms of like just like making up time and stuff, and then there's the like
just
I don't know,
burning time.
Yeah,
there's a difference.
Yeah,
for sure.
Because things do happen, and sometimes you gotta improvise, and
absolutely. Absolutely. But yeah, that was kind of the last tour announcement. And that was pretty much all the news that I know of.
Yeah.
You got anything else?
Seems like I did, but I don't know. I don't think so.
You been watching anything good lately? Listening to anything?
Let's see.
Full disclosure, I haven't. I've just been getting caught up on podcasts pretty much.
Yeah.
Since I've been back. Quite a lot to get caught up on. But that's been fun. There's been some good ones.
Yeah. Quite a few lately.
Really, really good ones lately, yeah.
I don't know, in terms of like music and stuff, it's been mostly like Behemoth. The new Misery Index we were listening to
Yeah.
is really solid. Trying to think what else. I'm listening to Hexed a lot.
Children of Bodom.
In terms of like watching stuff, I've been like playing more video games than probably anything lately. I've been getting like dangerously into Skyrim again.
Oh boy.
Between that and what else? I don't know, just like a lot of like E3 stuff.
Yeah.
Kind of excited about some things that are coming out. The new Doom is gonna be cool.
Oh yeah.
So yeah. Been looking up a lot of like alien type stuff. I don't know.
What do you mean alien type stuff?
I don't know, like how like what we were watching
with Joe Rogan and Bob Lazar?
Yeah. That kind of thing. And
oh shit.
So
have you really?
Yeah.
Because I got some shit I could turn you on to that will fuck your brain up, dude. Like,
because we were talking about the what were we watching? The Zeitgeist thing.
Oh yeah, with religion. Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of different stuff or whatever, but like, you know, kind of like that. So just like different sort of, I don't know, like YouTube stuff, and spent a lot of time on YouTube lately.
Some YouTube black holes.
Yeah,
dude. What kind of alien stuff you been watching?
I don't know, nothing really specific. Just kind of like mostly just that podcast, really, because I listen to quite a bit of it. So
all right, yeah, that's a really good one.
Yeah, I've been wanting to check out that movie,
the documentary.
Yeah,
it's quite good. You get a lot of the information that he gives in the documentary in the podcast, but it's still worth checking out, I'd say.
Yeah.
But Bob Lazar in Area 51, I think, is the name of it or something like that. But yeah, it just came out, I think, earlier this year. It was quite good. But yeah, man, that is one that really gets me. It really gets me because honestly, the only problem with it is unless aliens have been here the whole time, unless that's the case, then them getting here or finding out or even having any reason to check out this solar system at all is very far beyond our current technology.
Yeah.
So understanding the logic and science to do that, there isn't any at the moment that we have.
Yeah.
So that's where imagination comes in. And so I mean, yeah, that's the only part of aliens being here that is a problem. Like if we had a way to scientifically explain like faster than light travel or warp speed or whatever, or bending time and space like a wormhole.
Yeah.
If we had the ability, you know, if we had even a concept of an idea of a way to harness something like that in the form of like a traveling ship.
Oh, it'd be. Yeah.
Then we're talking. Then we're talking. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So. Yeah, that's the only problem I have with aliens having been here. But then you hear stories like Bob Lazar.
And
it's just another one is Linda Moulton Howe. And it's just all really fucking
well, that, and it's not so much like alien stuff, but just kind of like, I don't know, there's been, I mean, we were kind of talking about the weird like security cam footage and stuff.
Yeah, we watched that
like
video.
Yeah. So, like, I don't know, different stuff like that seems to have been coming up over the last couple weeks.
I mean, look, I think that it is likely. I think it's likely at this point that there are plenty. Look. We've had smartphones for less than 15 years. You guys realize that? Like it only.
I forget about that sometimes.
Within the last 5 years, did the technology advance enough along with the equipment becoming cheap enough for you and I to have the ability to make this podcast in this room right now?
Yeah.
The only reason why this is even close to doable or affordable is because of technology that has grown and developed in the last 5 to 10 years.
Yeah.
Okay? Like, this is all so new and so fresh. Like, we are still in its fucking infancy. And we're all, a lot of people assume, this, okay, make no doubt, this is so far in human civilization, the height of technological advances. This is the best time to be alive in human history ever. Like, between, diseases and science and all this stuff.
Yeah.
Without question. But when you look at the progress we've made in the last amount of time, and then when you look at the progress we made over the last 40 years versus the last 10 years, like the last 10 years have been far more exponential than the past 40 and than the 30 before that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it will continue to do that. We are still in this stage of our technological evolution's infancy.
Yeah.
Infancy.
I mean, when you consider that, like, not only we pretty much have like laptops, like in our pockets all the time, but like, I remember a time when, and I laugh about it because it hits kind of close to home, but like watching like, I don't know, and I guess it's kind of like a bad comparison, but it captures like the times, I guess. I don't know, just watching like let's say like shows from the 90s or whatever, or like the early like 2000s, and seeing like it mostly like, I don't know, mostly like dumb like sitcoms or whatever, but like
no. You want to have a fun trip? Go back and watch episode 1 of the X-Files.
Yeah.
Dude, it's literally this, just if for nothing else, it's an amazing portrait of the 90s.
Yeah.
Like the early 90s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like the clothes, the phones, the cars, like every single piece is there. It's just, as soon as you see it, you're like, oh, I'm back in the 90s. Like, it's a really, I love it. I
watched, and it kind of ties in line with the whole aliens thing, but I was watching Men in Black, the second one.
Dude, I watched
recently.
like the third one while I was on vacation one night in the hotel.
I was same spot, just different movie. It's kind of weird, but like even like those movies, dude, like they were supposed to be like the future, or like, this like top secret organization that like had like the most like advanced stuff. Like, he was driving like a BMW, first of all, that was like, like, I don't know, like 2009 or whatever, like the when it was like before it came out. Now like you see those on the road all the time.
Yeah,
and
now they're old cars.
Yeah.
And
it's got like the touchscreen stuff, but it's like we've had that for like 10 years now.
Yeah, that's not new anymore. Back then it was like, whoa, we still had cassette players.
Yeah.
Like,
so I don't know, just kind of like, I don't know, like, to kind of go back to what you were saying, like just the the fact that it's been such a short amount of time in reality that
another crazy one is go back and watch an old episode of Seinfeld and look at his fucking stereo system on the shelf.
Or like Fresh Prince is one I watch a lot, but like I think Home Improvement was the last one I watched.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Yeah, where they were talking, it was the one about like they were trying. I even laugh like thinking about it now, but like
I haven't watched that in forever.
It seems like it's always on, but like they had it was the one where they
I grab it. Go ahead.
They had to get like the second phone line.
Yeah.
Because they kept talking about everything, and like it's like I couldn't help but laugh because it's like it's such a 90s problem. Like it's such a like
a second phone line?
It's like, or like I can't use the phone because I got to use the internet, or like dial up or whatever.
You fucking pick up the phone,
yeah,
like a fucking crazy ass noise, and the internet cuts off at the same. You can't use the phone and the internet cuts off.
Yeah,
everything breaks.
And now the phone and the internet are on one thing. We all carry around with us.
Yeah, you don't even have a phone without internet anymore.
Yeah,
like what the fuck.
So it's man. To kind of go, kind of tie back into what you're talking about, but yeah.
So my point with that was this idea that I graduated high school in 2008. When did you graduate high school?
Really?
Yeah.
I don't think. Well, I don't know. We talked about it. What is that? 2012.
I was actually technically supposed to graduate in 2007, but I had to repeat the 6th grade because when I moved up in Detroit, they tell you the parents to put the kids in the schools earlier than they do up here in Lansing. And so when I got to Lansing, I was the youngest in my grade by like a full year. Like I was right dead in line with the age of kids in the grade lower. So in 6th grade to 7th grade is when the middle school switch happens. So they're like, maybe have him stay in elementary school an extra year just before, you know what I mean? Because he's so much younger and, you know, some fucking bully problems or whatever. No. But fucking, so technically I was supposed to graduate in 2007. The idea that the things that even the 4 years between us, the idea that the things that even kids were taught up to 2012 in school in terms of history and all these things like that is 100% known and factual is insane.
Yeah.
Like when I look back on some of the things I was taught in elementary school about America, I'm like, are you fucking... This was a joke, right? Yeah. This was a you taught me a cartoon. This isn't real. You literally taught me a cartoon.
Yeah.
Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? Like, are you joking? Like, so it's so crazy to me how many things I learned in those schools that I later found out was complete fucking horseshit.
Yeah.
Totally wrong. Like, they lied. They lied to us.
Yeah. Or, like, being taught something that, like, later on changed. Or, like, they found out that,
you know, that's... I actually like that a lot because that's progress.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Something that actually changes the books.
Yeah. That was mostly like science and like history.
Something that requires a new edition.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But yeah, just this idea that we have a full understanding of everything that happening on our planet is unbelievably naive to me.
Yeah.
Like, no, absolutely not. Like I'm sorry. You think there's someone out there right now that knows exactly what's going on in the middle of the Amazon right now, that knows fucking all the secrets that the Amazons is still holding, like all the secrets of the ocean. You know what I mean? That we still don't know. Look, fucking bullshit. Like absolutely not. Like there are mysteries still on this earth. There are things that we still have yet to discover and do not understand.
Yeah.
There is I approach everything with logic and science and skepticism, but I don't like to call myself a skeptic because that has like a connotation to it now, where like a skeptic just comes in trying to disprove, like they're looking to I'm only looking for, you know, I'm not looking to disprove or prove anything. I'm just looking at things. You know what I mean?
Kind of more of like a realistic.
Yeah.
Like a realist.
Like my favorite thing is I want to believe X-Files. I want to believe.
Yeah.
I want to see the proof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that there is there is a lot. There's so much that has not been explained yet in this world. And I think that science, while at its peak right now, is still ultimately in its infancy and will continue at exponential rates to the point where we begin to start being able to explain some of these currently unexplainable things. And I'm nothing but excited about that. You know, honestly, I'm nothing, because I think that all the things that I want to believe in could be real, ghosts, aliens, all of it, and able to be ultimately explained by science eventually. I think both things. You know what I mean? Like, you don't have to have one without the other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just one has to catch up to the other. So
I always wonder what it would be like, even now, or like within the last year, to kind of go back and see like how, and even like how it was taught, or like how things
Oh
are
my
being
God.
taught now versus how they were when, like, I feel like at a certain point, like, you know, like, because when I was, I mean, you know, there were times when, like, you know, it would all be like on like a projector or whatever, like it would all be like on like a computer and stuff, and now I feel
remember
like
the overhead projector?
yeah, that's kind of what either that or like it was on a computer and it was like there was like a something that like you plug in so that like you could see like the
Yep.
image and stuff, like that was
Yep.
like that was new shit.
Oh yeah.
Like that was, and now
Oh yeah.
now it seems like everybody's either got like, I mean, like phones and stuff.
It's all just on a tablet.
yeah, or
your
like
laptop.
tablets and stuff. Yeah,
If you're in a class, it's on a laptop.
and I wonder if, like, I mean, it's pretty easy to figure this out, but like, I wonder if, like, you know, because like there's got to be a point where like all the old like textbooks and stuff from like 20 years ago or from like the 90s or like things that are like dated, like kind of in there, like are kind of like forced out almost.
They are. They
or, like,
are
just
with
not used.
They are with every new edition, essentially. Like, you can get away with using the last edition. If it's like the first semester or first year of a new edition, you can get away with using the last edition. Usually the teacher will be like, you can, you know,
Yeah.
there's going to be some differences, but you can still use it. But that's about, but really what it is the fucking schools that are underfunded
Yeah,
and can't afford the new editions.
that's
where it gets real fucking crazy.
still using them from like 5 years ago or whatever. That
You want to fuck your mind up? Go back and think about what they taught you about Paul Revere
yeah.
and the founding fathers. Like, how did I remember how they taught that to us? It was in these little, like, almost booklet pamphlet size, all white paper little booklets, and it was all like Paul Revere and fucking he wrote and all this shit, and it was all bullshit. And I was tested on it. You know, they were drilling this into us, and it was all complete fabrication. Like, it was a Disney cartoon version of what actually happened.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
The
like
Schoolhouse Rock or whatever it was.
Well, no, Schoolhouse Rock is actually actually teaches you shit.
Yeah.
That's actually legit. Schoolhouse Rock is legit. Reading Rainbow was legit. Sesame Street was. The fucking public access shit was more legit than our actual fucking schools.
Oh.
Because, now granted, the public access shit didn't really get into like history and all that much, but still, like, think back on it, man, and it just blows my fucking mind, the bullshit.
Yeah.
The flat out lies. Flat out lying. And you as adult, you and I are sitting here fucking 29 and 25.
Yeah.
And we know it's bullshit. Our 40-year-old teachers sure as fuck did too. Or at least they better have. But then how do you fucking sleep at night teaching children fairy tales, you know what I mean? As fact. It's insane to me. But it is what we were taught. It is what happened. And we turned out fine, but we turned out fine because of the fucking internet. Think about all the people, literally every single generation before mine, when internet didn't even exist in high school. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Like, my generation was one of the first generations that had internet all throughout high school. And we could just fact check everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Google had just been invented, and so had YouTube. Like, just had been invented. So we could keyword search anything. And the History Channel started doing crazy shows. And, yeah, like, it was all revealed. You know what I mean?
I can't tell you how many times I'd be watching something on, like, you know, like Age of Aliens or whatever. Or like, I mean, given sometimes some of that stuff's a little far out.
Oh, yeah.
It's a little insane. But like, kind of like shows like that and feeling like, man, like, if I would have had things explained to me like this, I feel like I would have been like much more engaged.
A little more
guess.
receptive.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
maybe that's just how I
slightly
learn things. I don't
interesting
know.
way.
Yeah.
Well, what do you mean it's fucking that versus Thomas Jefferson signed the Declaration of Independence. Like, nothing. Like, there's no. How are you gonna get a kid to give a fuck about that? You know what I'm saying? Like, But, it's the way we got it set up at the moment. That's the public school system is a whole fucking thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole fucking thing.
But anyway, in terms of...
At the end of the day, what I want is for science to get to the point to be able to explain the mysteries. And for more mysteries to be made aware. Like, I think most people... Like, have you ever heard of... I've told you about the missing 411 cases.
Yeah.
If you've never heard of that, look that shit up, people, if you want to get your fucking mind fucked. Like, there are mysteries happening all around us, that people cannot yet explain. And I think that, to me, that makes life so much cooler. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, it makes it so much more interesting, like, to know that we don't know, to know that there are things, despite all this amazing technology we do have at the moment, there are still things that we have no fucking idea about.
Mm.
And I love that. That means there are still things to be known, new things to learn. Nobody knows everything. It's literally impossible. Because we know some of the things that we can't know. So we know that nobody can know everything. It's fucking... I don't know. I just love that. I love the mystery. I love mysteries. I love cryptic. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to believe. X-Files. Still my favorite. I'm going to watch some X-Files tonight, probably. I fucking love that show so much. Listen to some Megadeth and watch some fucking X-Files. And I'm going to turn you on to some alien shit. That's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
I'm going to blow your fucking mind. Because I got some shit for you. Trust me. But you want to wrap this up?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Let's do it. July 25th.
You get it right.
Bog Wraith Recorruptor at Max Bar, Lansing, Michigan. Be there. Fucking, it's going... Look.
Yeah, July 25th, it's a Thursday.
It's total fucking chaos is the only way I'm going to be able to describe this one. Like, oh my God, this show's going to be so fucking good. $10 in advance. Trust me, if you want to see a really, really great fucking small venue underground metal show, this is gonna be a really fucking good one. Trust me.
Yeah, it's with us, Recorruptor, the Green Leaves, who are from out of state, and Carnus Immortalis
from Detroit.
Yeah, who we played with at the last two shows. Actually,
Yeah.
We've been on a pretty good run with them, so they're cool.
It's gonna be total fucking chaos. I'm unbelievably excited. And
Yeah.
of course, what?
I was say I got some maybe some deep cuts in there. Some songs we haven't played in a little while, kind of dusting off some. So
Maybe Monsters?
Maybe.
Oh! I will lose my shit if you guys play that one. I will lose it. So that, if you want to see me lose it, and you want to see Bog Wraith and Recorruptor play, and you want some free Lost in the Dark stickers, be sure to be at Max Bar Thursday, July 25th for an amazing night of heavy fucking metal. Thirsty Thursdays, everyone. It's going to be fantastic. But until then, we will be continuing. We got, new podcast episodes, reviews, videos. We got shit coming. It's a little slow right now. I've been having to deal with some water in the house, but things are getting back to normal, and we're going to be on full swing again very soon. So we got shit coming down the pipeline to be excited about. And yeah, that's about it. You got anything else? No?
Nothing.
All
We
right.
covered it all. So,
well, until next time, I love you all to death. Good night.